Rachel Prophet here. I am a white female with reddish brown hair that's down today. I'm wearing a green sweater. I'm in my office as usual with my Epic sticker wall behind me. And today I want to talk about how to set up users in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. I'm here in the application, and what we're going to do to start off with is switch over to my unboxed company. So I'm going to go ahead and click up there and select unbox and press enter. This is the company that we've been using in our Getting Started series, so I'm going to continue working with that throughout the series. Now, on the modules pane on the left-hand side, I'm going to go ahead and click and scroll down and select the System Administration module. Once you've got a legal entity set up and some basic number sequences in your environment, you might want to start adding some users so they can help you getting all the configuration done in order to start using the system. So I'm going to open up the users page. And here I can manually create new users or I can import new users. To create a new user, you'll simply click the new icon, type in a user ID that's unique, type in the user's name, enter the email address for that user, now, when this particular user logs in, I want to make sure that the company is set to my new unboxing company. So in the unbox field, I'm going to select that. I can optionally select a person to relate this user to, but I haven't created a person yet, so we're going to skip that step. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. You'll notice that I'm receiving a warning message because I already exist as a user in this environment and I'm receiving warnings and error messages. So I'm going to simply delete this user since I already exist. The other option for setting up a new user is to import those users. So when you want to import users, you'll simply use the Import Users button at the top of the page, which will open up a quick wizard. Here you'll see all the users that have not been added to your particular environment, and you can simply just mark the checkbox next to each user that you want to add to the environment. And when you're ready, you'll click on the OK button at the bottom of the page. So here's my user, and I'm going to walk you through how to set up the user options. And user options are specific to each user. When you first create a new user, it's automatically going to select some defaults for all the users, but you might want to update certain settings for each user as you create them. This is where I can choose which color theme I want to use. Perhaps I'm a fan of this more teal color, so I can select teal. Now you can see that my user interface is updated. I can also choose if I want to use the standard size or if I want to go with the compressed mode. If we click on the Preferences tab on the left-hand side, I'm going to go ahead and change this to UNBX for my user. And I can select what the initial dashboard page will be for this user as well. By default, it's always going to be the default dashboard, which is like the home page with all of the tiles on it. However, you could choose that a user will automatically go into System Administration, Feature Management, the Essentials dashboard, Employee Self-Service, or the Prospective Vendor Registration. The next field allows us to decide how forms will open when I'm navigating throughout the system. By default, this will be set to auto, which means the form will decide how it will open based on what the developer set on that particular form. However, you can set this to view or edit. If I'm an IT administrator or help desk person, I might want every page to open into the view only mode so that I don't accidentally make changes. If I am a user that regularly makes updates to records, I could set this to edit so that all records open up in edit mode by default. Here you can select the language settings. Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations supports a large variety of languages. When you select a new language, all of the labels in the user interface will change and automatically be updated to appear in the language that's selected. You can also select the date, time, and number format. Typically, this will be the same as the language, but you might want to use something different if you're used to working, if you, for example, use English US for the language, but you work for a company that's based in the UK, for example, and they format their dates and times differently than we do here in the US. You also have the ability to select the time zone that will be used for your particular user and which country or region this user is located in. By default, document handling will be enabled. This means that users can attach documents to records, and the system will show you how many records are attached to a particular record. There's also an optional parameter that you can enable here to allow URL manipulations. What this property does is allows you to automatically update the query parameter to a specific record. There's also some accessibility features that are available out of the box that are turned off by default for enhanced tab sequencing and tooltips when you hover over a particular field. Next, if we click the Account tab, you can see that there are additional fields here where I can control the basics. You'll see that much of the information from my user is copied over here to the account. I can also select a specific email provider and sender email that will be used, and if you're using the electronic signature feature, there's a tab here where you can configure those options. We also have a workflow tab where you can set up how workflow will work throughout the system, and we'll dive into some of these workflow settings in a later video. When you're done, you can simply close down the form and assign roles. By default, a user will be assigned to the system user when you create them, but you'll want to assign additional security roles so that that user can access different areas of the system. So I'll click on Assign Roles. And out of the box, I can see that there are about 80 or so security roles provided. You can customize these roles and create new roles, and we'll explore security in more detail in a further video. So I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down here and select the System Administrator role, which will give me access to the entire system. Once you've assigned security roles, this user can start logging into the system and using the environment. Now you've created users that are ready to start accessing the system, and we'll dive into additional settings that you'll need to do from a system administration standpoint in a further video. That's it for today's Dynamics 365 Unboxed Getting Started video. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to put your comments and questions below, like, subscribe, and click that little bell so you get your notifications, and we'll see you next time on Dynamics 365 Unboxed.